All right, let's talk about OpenAI. The company that's pretty much at the heart of this whole AI explosion. But something strange is happening. Some of their top researchers, they're not just leaving, they're quitting in protest. And get this, it's not about getting a bigger paycheck somewhere else. So let's dig into what's really going on behind those closed doors. I mean, seriously, think about it. Why would you quit the #1 AI company in the world? You've got the huge salary, you've got the stock options, you're literally sitting on the front lines of the future. So what could possibly be so bad that you just up and walk away from all of that? Well, the answer points to a really serious fight happening inside the company. Okay, so let's get right into the thick of it. This isn't your typical story of office drama or somebody getting a better offer from Google. Nope. This is about a deep, fundamental disagreement over the truth and what OpenAI is or maybe isn't willing to tell all of us about its own research. So a bombshell report from Wired dropped, and it says at least two key people from OpenAI's economic research team just quit. And look, these aren't just any employees. These are trained economists, people hired specifically to figure out AI's real-world impact on jobs. The very people whose entire job was to find the truth, they're now heading for the exit. And this is where the story just completely blows up. See, one of these researchers, he didn't just leave quietly. Oh no, he left a message for the entire company, and it had this absolutely stunning accusation about what they were all working on. Just listen to this. Tom Cunningham, one of the economists who left, wrote in his final message that their team was turning into a propaganda arm. A propaganda arm. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. He's basically saying the company wasn't interested in real, objective research anymore. Instead, it was all about spinning a specific, positive story for the public. So what exactly does a propaganda arm do? Well, according to the sources, it means you shout the good news from the rooftops, all the great productivity boosts, while you quietly bury the bad stuff. The accusation here is that OpenAI is actively sitting on studies about massive job losses, basically anything that might freak people out, attract government regulation, or, slow down the business. They're being accused of hiding the truth. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, two people quit. Is that really such a big deal? And normally, maybe not. But when you zoom out and look at OpenAI's track record lately, you start to see this isn't just a one-off. It's actually part of a pretty worrying pattern. You can literally see the theme here. First, you had a member of the super alignment team, that's the group in charge of AI safety, quit because he felt the company was more focused on shiny products than on safety. Then, you had another researcher, Miles Brundage, leave after the company apparently refused to publish his work. And now, the economists. It's the same story over and over. A researcher finds something concerning, the company allegedly buries it, and the employee with a conscience walks. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. What on earth is in these studies that they won't publish? What could possibly be so bad that OpenAI would risk this kind of internal mutiny and public scandal just to keep it under wraps? No, really, think about it. If you're building what might be the most powerful technology in human history, what kind of truth would be too scary to tell? Given that it's the economists who are leaving, well, we can make some pretty solid guesses about what they found. Sources are suggesting that these secret reports basically confirm our worst fears. We're talking about a massive, massive wave of job losses for white-collar workers. The research probably shows jobs disappearing way faster than our economy can create new ones, which would lead to a crazy concentration of wealth. And maybe the scariest part? It might show that the first rung on the career ladder, that entry-level job, just vanishes for an entire generation. Now, this whole situation with OpenAI's alleged secrecy, it creates a really interesting contrast when you look at one of their biggest rivals, Anthropic, because they're taking a completely, radically different approach to all of this. I mean, the difference is just night and day. On one side, you have OpenAI allegedly downplaying the negatives and focusing on PR-friendly solutions. And on the other side, you have Anthropic. Their CEO has gone on record promising to be completely transparent, to tell the truth even when it's really uncomfortable. Their bet is that honesty is the only way to actually build public trust. And listen, Anthropic's CEO, Dario Amodei, he's not beating around the bush. He's out there saying straight up that this technology is already better than the average human at a whole bunch of tasks. He's not trying to hide from that fact. He's facing it head on. And then he puts a number on it, a staggering number. He says we could see a 50 to 60% displacement of white-collar jobs in the next 5 years. Wow, it's a shocking, really uncomfortable number to hear, but it's out there. And it's exactly the kind of data that OpenAI is now being accused of hiding. Now, to be fair, OpenAI has launched a public response. It's something they're calling their workforce blueprint, and it promises things like AI education programs, new certifications, and even a jobs platform to help people find new roles. But this forces us to ask the really critical question, right? Is this a real, genuine solution to what could be a massive societal problem? Or is it just a clever PR move to distract from all the chaos happening internally and the research they allegedly won't release? I mean, if your own economists are quitting in protest, a certification program starts to feel a little small. Really, this whole mess boils down to one single fundamental question. When a private company is building something that will literally reshape our world, who is responsible for telling the unfiltered, unvarnished truth about what's coming? Is it the company? Is it the researchers who have a crisis of conscience? Or are we all just going to find out the hard way when it's already too late? That's the question we all need to be asking right now.